Arsenal are on a mission to secure the future of their stars, and with Gabriel Martinelli sorted, today we have some breaking news as we get the latest on the future of Bukayo Saka. We'll also discuss a potential move for Jude Bellingham, get an update on the return of Gabriel Jesus, and discuss all the other team news and tactics as Arsenal take on Brendan Rodgers' Leicester City. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. I hope you guys are doing sensational and we have a massive game at the King Power this Saturday. We also have some massive news, so smash a like if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Less than 2,000 away from 150k. We're getting there slowly but surely. We're starting off with the breaking Arsenal news. Arsenal have been active and Edu Gaspar has been busy. New contracts have been offered, signed, sealed and delivered. Starting off with Mohamed Elneny, who is out of contract at the end of the season. Arsenal have confirmed another year of Mo as Elneny signs a 1-year contract extension. Elneny says, "I'm so happy. I love this club and our supporters and I'll give everything to help us to be the best we can be. Every day I'm here." It is a 1-year contract extension and to some fans it may be a surprise, but Arsenal have negotiated this to help out the player. He's currently injured and out for a very long time, but he's also the longest serving player at the club, someone very much appreciated behind the scenes by the Arsenal players and the Arsenal management. And he may not be special, but he's always done a job. And as Arsene Wenger did back in 2018 with Santi Cazorla, even though he was injured and unlikely to play for the club, Arsene gave him a new contract to give Santi a home to recover and recuperate, to support a player that is always giving his all. And this is the most important part. Arsenal had an automatic option to extend Elneny's contract. According to Mark Van Barens, Arsenal did not trigger the option to extend Elneny's contract, instead signing him to a fresh new deal, which includes a drop in wages as a part of the agreement. Elneny was more than happy to sign the new deal. This is not going to affect our finances or our summer transfer plans. Arsenal will still try to sign a brand new number 6. And when you have Thomas Partey and Jorginho, Elneny could easily be the 4th choice player. Now let's talk about the future of Granit Xhaka. According to Graham Bailey, the Arsenal vice-captain Granit Xhaka is keen to extend his stay at the club and talks have taken place over a new contract. It's hoped that negotiations can be concluded fairly quickly as there is a willingness from both sides to agree terms. Granit Xhaka is out of contract in 2024, meaning he'll have 1 year left in the summer, and this year he has been influential, playing as a number 8 with 9 goals and assists in all competitions. Xhaka was given a challenge by Mikel Arteta to go and improve his forward game, and to be fair to him, he has done that. And even though recently his form hasn't been amazing, he is still a reliable Arsenal player. That is why Mikel Arteta always starts him. At 30 years of age, he's one of the very few experienced players in a very young Arsenal team. And one key aspect about Xhaka is his fitness is always reliable. One of the few remaining players signed by Arsene Wenger, he has seen it all, and he's a very influential figure behind the scenes. As Jorginho says on Xhaka, "I asked him the other day where could I go for dinner around here, and he booked it for me and didn't even let me pay. I was like, okay, thank you very much." Xhaka has been a cornerstone for Mikel Arteta, and he has transformed him into a player that initially wanted to leave. Could have gone in 2021, but now the Arsenal fans appreciate him more than ever. They see his experience, they see his mentality. The likes of Fabio Vieira, Emil Smith-Rowe and so many of the young Arsenal players can learn so much. Xhaka has always said that he wants to leave Arsenal on a high. He wants to win something massive. But now let's talk about the future and the present. A superstar in the making. Arsenal's number 7, Bukayo Saka, who was also out of contract in 2024, but Arsenal had started negotiations and made it their priority to secure the future of their star boy. And the breaking news from David Ornstein is that Arsenal have an agreement in principle on a new contract for Bukayo Saka, a long-term deal for the England international. It's not signed and it may take some time to complete, but it's now in place and it's fantastic news for Arsenal. This, my friends, is gargantuan to secure the future of our current and future star boy, alongside the future of Gabriel Martinelli. The Arsenal wide forwards have been a pivotal part of Mikel Arteta's team. They provide the team with dynamism and are feared by defenders. But as Sammy Mockbell first confirmed, Bukayo Saka is on the verge of signing a new contract and it's worth £200,000 a week. As Fabrizio confirms, it's a contract until June 2028, and Saka has always only wanted an Arsenal stay. He's come through hell end, he's become the number 7, he's gone to the World Cup, he's gone to the Euros, and now he's about to get a bumper massive contract. It is more than deserved, and in the current market, where the likes of Jadon Sancho are sitting on £300,000 a week, right now Saka is up there with the best right wingers in world football. 9 goals and 8 assists, closing into double figures. You look at how far he's progressed under Mikel Arteta, the transition into becoming a goal scoring outlet. There are very few wingers in world football that are as influential as Bukayo Saka in the final third, and also the mentality to bounce back after that massive heartbreak of missing the penalty at Euro 2021. At 20 years of age, he could have hid, he could have shied away. Instead, he came back stronger than ever. 11 goals, 7 assists. Every time he faces adversity, he only comes out stronger. This guy is a mentality monster in the making, but also on the pitch he's becoming devastating. Look at the goal against Aston Villa. It drops to his left foot and the ball striking is sensational. Top left hand corner, the goalkeeper has no chance. The scariest part is he's only getting warmed up, and next year potentially in the Champions League. I expect for Bukayo to thrive on the highest stage. And Arsenal aren't stopping there. As Fabrizio Romano confirms, Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar are determined to secure this generation of Arsenal stars to long-term deals. And after securing Saka's signature, the focus will now turn to Aaron Ramsdale and William Saliba. Arsenal aren't waiting about, and this is a club learning from previous mistakes. Over the past few years, we have fumbled so many of our top players. Arsenal have changed their ways. They are now being proactive. Next up is William Saliba, and I also expect that will get done. And there's also another player in Emil Smith-Rowe who scored 10 goals last season, but this year has become the forgotten man. But as you guys can see, he is back in full training and sharper than ever, smashing the ball into the back of the nets. The impact of Emil Smith-Rowe could be massive. When you're fighting for a title, you need game changers off the bench. We have seen the impact of Trossard and Jorginho. Smith-Rowe provides Arsenal a different profile to what they already have, able to play out wide but also as an interior. In transition, he has proven in the past that he can be fantastic, and with 10 goals last season from an XG of just 5, this guy has that ruthless and devastating ball striking. The option to throw on Emil Smith-Rowe could be a game changer. He was on the bench against Aston Villa, and he's also going to be available for the game against Leicester. But talking of game changers, what about Gabriel Jesus? According to Arsenal442.com, Gabriel Jesus is close to making his Arsenal return. The source itself has proven reliable in the past, and in this case here, it's very exciting news. We were given a 3-month timescale back in December. So far, there have been no reported setbacks, and that means in the next week or two, Gabriel Jesus could be back in full training. Yes, he will need time to slowly get back into it, and I don't expect him to be game sharp straight away. But Jesus has elite mentality. He might not be available for February, but in the games for March, with the massive games upcoming in the Premier League and Europa League, it's where you need experience of clutch players and experience of title races. Something that Jesus has of plenty. He's been there and done it with Man City. Gabriel Jesus is close. Talking of forwards though, let's talk some transfer news. According to reports in Italy, Arsenal as well as Real Madrid are closely monitoring 20-year-old 6'4" Atalanta striker Rasmus Højlund. The player is a prominent name on Arsenal's list. 20 years of age, a Danish international, and at 6'4" with a bit of pace and a bit of power, he's got a lot to his game. He only signed for Atalanta back in summer 2022 for a fee of 17 million euros, a massive investment for a player straight out of the Austrian Bundesliga, the same league that produced Erling Haaland. Despite having a slow start post the World Cup, this player is coming to his own, with 6 goals in this area, firing off 2.78 shots per game and a 0.41 XG per 90. This guy is a nuisance physically, and it's no surprise why. His recent form has caught the eye, and that's why you're going to have so many top teams interested. But ultimately, Arsenal do have another superstar in their own returning. Following Bellingham, only 21 years of age, Arsenal always have an eye on the best upcoming young players. But when you've got Jesus, Nketiah and Bellingham, is there space for another striker? Now let's talk about the right backs. An exclusive from Ben Jacobs has revealed that Arsenal wants a right back this summer, and even Fresneda is their priority. But keep an eye as well on Southampton's Tino Livramento, who will be monitored by Arsenal and Man City when fit again. The interest in Fresneda is no surprise, a player that Arsenal tried their hardest to get done in January, but the player was happy to stay at Valladolid until the end of the season. There's a lot of competition for him, with the likes of Dortmund and Juventus also having interest. He is a proper and natural fullback, and even though we have Ben White and Tomiyasu, those two are centre backs that have turned into right backs. Mikel Arteta wants to build a squad full of variation and different profiles. But in terms of Southampton's Tino Livramento, a player that was on fire last season, caught the eye of Arsenal for sure, but hasn't played since April 2022, having injured his ACL. Recently he was set to return, but suffered another injury setback. The issue that Arsenal have here is, even though the player has potential, how is he going to be after his ACL? We saw the effect they had on Hector Bellerin. It took away his pace and it was a game changer. Now let's talk about a potential midfield target, and this one is massive. Jude Bellingham of Borussia Dortmund. According to The Athletic, Arsenal are admirers of Jude Bellingham, but there are not many clubs with the finances to sign him from Borussia Dortmund this summer. Reports have claimed that Dortmund went up to 150 million euros. That translates to around 130 million pounds. It's a gargantuan fee for a player with massive potential. It seems like Bellingham is destined to return to the Premier League. He's a main target for Todd Bowley's Chelsea, but as things stands, according to reports, the favourites are Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. But both of those teams are mid-table as it stands. They may not be in the Champions League next season. Surely for a player that profile of Bellingham, he needs to be in the Champions League. In terms of finances, Arsenal will have a lot available. The return to Champions League brings extra money, but Arsenal have different targets in mind, and for £80 million, Declan Rice is their priority. In any world, I don't see how Arsenal can sign both Rice and Bellingham. Both would be expensive signings, but if you could choose one, comment down below, who would you prefer? Now let's move on to Leicester versus Arsenal. Another massive game for Arsenal in their title charge, and this time it's at the King Power against Brendan Rodgers' recently in form Leicester City, winning 3 games out of their last 5. They lost their last game 3-0 at Old Trafford against Man United. In comparison, Arsenal haven't been in the best of form, but their last game was massive, winning their first game in 4 against Aston Villa. Leicester are a team that are very dangerous in transition, and the main man is James Maddison. 9 goals and 5 assists this season. If given any opportunity, Maddison is ruthless in front of goal. Spurs found that out recently, who lost their 4-1. In terms of XG, Leicester are only 12th with 28.9 XG, but from that they have scored 36 goals, overperforming their expected goals, and that is because they have players that are not scared to shoot from outside the box. But Leicester do have a vulnerable defence, having conceded the second most XG this season with 40.6. Their defence can definitely be exploited, especially from set pieces. In terms of team news though, Leicester are set to welcome back the likes of Bukayo Saka and Yuri Tielemans, but are still without a key defender in Johnny Evans. In terms of Arsenal, still no Mohamed Elneny. Jesus is closer but not quite ready, but the likes of Reece Nelson and Emil Smith-Rowe are both back and available. But in terms of Thomas Partey, he's not too far away. And according to Simon Collins, Partey is hoping he can be fit to return to the Arsenal squad, but he won't be rushed, with the arrival of Jorginho easing the pressure. With all that team news kept in mind, how is Mikel Arteta going to line up? The standard 4-3-3 formation with Ramsdale in goal, a back 4 of Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko, a midfield 3 of Xhaka, Jorginho and Odegaard, and a front 3 of Leandro Trossard, Eddie Nketiah and Bukayo Saka. Mikel Arteta has a lot of dilemmas, especially as a number 6. If Partey is available, is he going to start over Jorginho, who's been in form and been very impressive in the past few games? But what about Fabio Vieira, who had a standout cameo in the game against Aston Villa, assisted the Arsenal 4th goal? Another dilemma is the left forward, Gabriel Martinelli or Leandro Trossard. Trossard was decent against Aston Villa, but after Gabriel Martinelli scored, Mikel Arteta has got a choice to make. In terms of tactics though, this game is all about controlling transitions. The likes of James Maddison and Harvey Barnes have fantastic movement in between the lines, and that is why it's so important that Zinchenko and Ben White, when they're inverting, are compact alongside the number 6 and make sure we don't get hit on the counter-attack. And the first clean sheet in 6 games would also do very nicely. What are your thoughts going into this game? Who do you think needs to start? And most importantly, comment down below your matchday predictions. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with leaked images of the Arsenal kit going into next season. The potential Arsenal home and away kit. The home kit is definitely interesting, especially with the gold. A bit of a throwback to 2007-8, and the away kit is a return to the yellow colours, but I'm not too sure on the colour. Both of these kits are different to this season, and ultimately speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of them. It's worth pointing out these are still unconfirmed and it could be just guesswork. It's not the same level of the quality kits that we've seen over the past few years. Comment down below your ratings out of 10. Moving on to the Europa League, it's been a massive day as the final games of the round of 32 playoffs are over, and the standout game was Man United versus Barcelona, as United beat Barca 2-1 and 4-3 on aggregates. The draw from the round of 16 is tomorrow, and it features Arsenal as a seeded team. And here's who we could face. From AS Roma to Juventus, Bayer Leverkusen, Union Berlin, Sevilla, Sporting Lisbon and Shakhtar Donetsk. The first leg will be played on March the 9th. The teams that we can draw aren't easy, and there's so many storylines. Jose Mourinho's AS Roma to Max Allegri's Juventus, featuring the likes of Dusan Vlahovic and Manuel Locatelli, ex-Arsenal targets. Which team do you want Arsenal to face, and more importantly, how serious should Arsenal take this Europa League? We're definitely one of the favourites. The reason why Arsenal signed the likes of Trossard, Kiwior and Jorginho is to provide a squad depth and be able to compete on multiple fronts. I think Arsenal need this to gain the experience of playing more than one game a week, especially in the main period of the season, because next year, if and when we're in the Champions League, it's going to be a different problem that hopefully this year Arsenal are able to learn from and take that experience next season. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of today's latest Arsenal news, and Arsenal have a massive game against Leicester. It won't be easy, but any game in a title race is never easy. We have to get used to the pressure, and I will see you next time, so take care and it's been a bit.